Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a relatively still new product, and that is Sonore by Valentin Danneville. So this is a very good product, but one that also has quite a few drawbacks for me personally that makes it a bit of a mixed bag in certain areas, but still something that I do want to test out and field work a bit more to know if it is going to definitely be for me or not. Now, there's a lot of good reviews of this product already out there, so my review is in addition to that, so I encourage you to look at mine and other reviews as well in order to determine if this is for you or not. And as always, I bought this with my own money, so this wasn't handed to me by Illusionist whatsoever. I decided to purchase this so you know that what I'm going to tell you is going to be relative to the money that I have spent on the product. So having said that and knowing that, let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Sonore. So what is Sonore? Sonore is essentially an effect where you're able to use sound to your advantage, whether to play a fake harmonica and it either not existing or ending up being a cookie, flicking a coin in the air, flicking a glass, or playing a glass harp, or more in the future. Possibly we're going to talk about that prospect. That's what you're going to be able to do. I'm going to include a small clip of me doing this right now so that you get an idea of what it does if you do not know already.
Hey everyone, so as you know, I actually put magic on the channel, but recently I started doing a bit of music, and I'm actually just wondering whether or not it's good, but most importantly, I'm wondering if you know what the instrument I'm playing is. So leave that in the comment, because I'm scared it's a bit old-fashioned and people don't really know what it is anymore. So I'll just play you a small tune, so feel free to comment what the instrument is. So that's just a small tune, and I hope it was good, but do you know what the instrument is? For those that said harmonica, thank you for knowing. I think it's a bit old-fashioned, but also it wasn't actually a harmonica. It was just a small cookie.
Okay, so you've seen this small clip of me doing Sonore. So now that you know what it is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So first of all, you can buy this from illusionist.com. For the moment, it is only available there. I know some other dealers like Monster Magic, having spoken to them, are going to be stocking this in the near future. So maybe some other shops are also going to have it, similarly to how Liquid Spectrum was handled. This is going to set you back around 115 USD, which is around 140 Canadian dollars. This is also something to keep in mind if you buy from Illusionist, is that their shipping fees are absolutely ridiculous and their import fees are absolutely ridiculous. So the import fees and shipping on Sonore was over $70 for me, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why Illusionists have such high shipping fees. I know they've made a blog on it and they've talked about it, but it should never be that high. If I would have bought Sonore and Liquid Spectrum, what I intended to do, the shipping and duty fees would have been over $140. Personally, that is just preposterous. There's no way that anyone can justify to me with any blog post that shipping two boxes of this size should cost $140 in shipping. It does not make any sense. I'm getting, stuff from around the world where the shipping is $15. I've ordered stuff from Patrick Kun all the way in Taiwan. The shipping was $18 with zero duty fees. So no one can tell me that $140 is justifiable, even though they've tried with different blog posts and interviews. I feel it's preposterous. So it adds to the price of the effect, in my opinion. If something it costs $70 to ship, to me, this is around a $200 product that I've paid for this. Okay, so I am a bit irked by that because I really wanted it for my upcoming gig because I want to try it out. So I had no choice but to buy it from Illusionist because I really wanted Monster Magic to stock it because he has free shipping and zero duty fees. But because of that, I bought it from Illusionist personally. So That is something to consider if you want to buy from there, is that the price, especially if you're in Canada, is going to be around $50 to $70 more than what you're actually paying. So keep that in mind. And in terms of what you are going to be getting this box, this beautiful box. This is kind of the packaging that How to Read's Mind set forward. And it is a very beautiful packaging. It's nice to have in your house. It looks beautiful. It handles beautifully. And it's also one of these magnetic ones as well. So now here is the part where usually I show you what you get, but I can't really because it would be exposing everything that's inside. I won't be showing it to you, but I will be telling you about it. So first things first is you're going to be getting a remote to activate your Sonore device, if we want to call it that, because one of the question was, is the sound coming from your phone? And the answer is no, there is something else doing it. So you're going to be getting that device with a remote. Additionally, you're also going to be getting a holster for everything. So I don't want to say too much, but it is a holster that I did not expect. It's not what I expected to have. And because of how it works and how it handles, it makes it a bit impractical in certain scenarios and in certain cases. And that may be a big issue for some. We're going to talk about that in the practicality sense. But you're going to get all of that provided to you. Additionally, you're also going to get whether you have Android or iPhone, you're going to get some specially designed files that are going to have things already made for you. So you're going to get the harmonica, you're going to get the glass flick when you do this, you're going to get a coin flip, and you're going to get a glass harp. So those are already ready to use. So the moment that you open the files, those go on your phone and they're ready to use without any tinkering, any additional, workarounds. Everything is done for you for those 4 effects. So all you have to do is put everything together. We're going to talk about that in a moment and you're good. Additionally, you're also going to get some files that can be edited, which means that you can add your own sound. So if you're part of the Facebook group or you're someone that likes to play around with sound, he's going to teach you how to make it do any other sound that you want. Do you want it to make invisible dice? Well, go for it. Do you want it to make the sound of you dropping a coin in a cup? Well, go for it. Any sound that you want, he's going to show you how to do it and teach you how to do it and how to implement it on those files in order for you to have them on your phone and be able to update them. But those will require some knowledge of sound, kind of making up a sound file, porting your sound file from a computer to your phone, porting it to your either Spotify, Apple Music, etc., or to your internal files, and doing some work around that in the special apps, whether you're on Android or iPhone, shortcuts on iPhone or on Android. He's going to tell you, not really show you because it's done in kind of a picture format. He's going to show you how to do it and you're going to be able to import your own files. It does require a bit of techiness. So if you're not really good with tech, it may be an issue for you. In terms of setting it up in regards to the phone, to me, it was pretty easy. I'm pretty familiar with the software and how to use it. So installing the 4 major ones was a breeze. I did it instantly and it was relatively a quick procedure. I know some people are having a lot of difficulty with that. And that is okay. That is completely fine. So it is depending on your level of savviness with tech and with the internal usage of your phones and of your computers. So because of that, to me, it was easy, but it may not be necessarily easy for you. It's not a one button fixes all, okay? In addition, you have to set up your set, so your Sonor set. So to set that up, you're gonna have to do a bit of DIY in terms to make something more accessible to you. So you're gonna have to do a bit of that in order to make it work. And in addition, you're gonna have to set everything up and make sure it fits correctly on yourself, because you don't want it being too loose or too tight when you are performing it, okay? And on top of everything that I've mentioned, you're also going to get a tutorial video. It is an illusionist type tutorial. It's very well shot, well explained, and it's separated in different sections with live performances for each, going over how to set it up, what you get, etc., etc. The video tutorial is great. So that's everything that you're going to get with your Sonor. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is Sonor to perform? Sonor is basically incredibly easy to do because, well, you don't do anything in terms of sleight of hand or anything like that. The difficulty of Sonor comes in your miming capabilities and your timing. That is what you're going to have to work on. The harmonica is the easiest one because a lot of people don't know how to play the harmonica. So even if you do something that's not completely correct, no one is ever going to notice that the harmonica is not supposed to sound that way. Of course, if you're doing this, it's clearly not going to sound like that. But if you're doing something similar, following around to the sound, it's incredibly easy to do. It has a lot of leeway in terms of miming faults or timing faults, right? The other effects are much more crucial in timing because you don't want to imagine you have a glass, you do this, and then you hear bing 2 seconds after. Or the same for the flick. You don't want to take it like this and do, and then you hear the sound of the coin flicking after you flicked it. Same in reverse. You don't want to be like this, and hear bing, and then you do this after. So it's going to require you to work on your timing and work on kind of getting your internal clock used to when it's going to accelerate. To me, it's I get the feedback 1 second and I do it. Get the feedback 1 second and I do it. So that's what in my head I'm thinking when I'm doing it in order to get the timing perfectly, and I've mastered that pretty well. It took me around, I would say, 5 minutes for every effect to get that down and get used to it. And that's pretty much all of the difficulty, is just working on your miming, of course, because you don't want to have a glass and do this because it's not going to sound like something gentle. Same for the coin. You don't want to do kind of like things like this and then do like a flamboyant thing. You want it to be kind of matching the sound that you're supposed to get. So that's the only difficulty that you're going to need. So because of that, I'm going to put it at close to intermediate, okay? Close to intermediate in terms of performing difficulty. Now let's talk about practicality, where a lot of this effect is going to either be for you or not, okay? And first of all, carrying capacity. In order to perform Sonore, you're going to need your phone, which we already have, and you're going to need the Sonore set. The Sonore set goes on your body, and it's better to be performed if you have a jacket or something over you. It helps it be more comfortable, and it also helps it be easier to ring in and out of your performing setting. And what I mean by that is that let's say you want to perform it for a few tables, and then it's starting to bother you that you have it on, because it is something that you're going to feel when you have it on. If it starts to bother you, you can just quickly go in a corner and get rid of it super easily. If you have a shirt and a small jacket or a performing coat or a hoodie on or anything like that, it's going to be easy to get in and out of your body. However, if you're someone that is performing in with no sleeves, so short sleeves, it's going to be much harder to get in and out of Sonore. You're going to have to do a trip at the bathroom to remove it. So that is something that you do need to keep in mind, is that it is a bit uncomfortable in certain situations. Personally, I'm someone that sweats a lot. So because of that, having something like Sonore on me is going to cause some irritation over time. So I do need to take it on and off, okay? Additionally, if you're someone that performs in very tight clothing. So for example, if you're going at a gig, and like you saw for myself, I have a very body close set and suit. So for me, I wouldn't be able to perform this without the jacket on my suit. If I were to do it in just my kind of button-up shirt, it will stick out like a sore thumb. Additionally as well, if you're someone that performs in, short sleeves and your shirt is something that's a close fit to your body, this will not work necessarily well. It will stick out like a sore thumb. If you're someone that performs in V-necks that are super glued to your body, for example, the best example that I can give you is, for example, Bobby Mara. This will not work at all. You will not even be able to put up Sonore and set it up, because it will look horrible. So it is something to keep in mind, is that it can be performed even in short sleeves, but you're going to need to have a baggy shirt. And you're going to need a baggy shirt to cover some of the outlines that you're going to need. If you want to perform it at a formal show and you have a button-up shirt and you don't have a blazer on you, it will probably not be performable very well for you, because it's going to stick out and it's going to be very uncomfortable. So that is, to me, the biggest issue that I have with Sonor, is that it is something that will be uncomfortable in a lot of people's sets. And for a lot of us, we dress with button-up shirts and stuff that is, pretty tight. I don't see myself going at a gig in a shirt like that's this big in order to perform Sonor and to perform it in short sleeves. So because of that, it limits heavily the times that you're going to be performing it. And it's also something that, depending on your body size and what you wear and how comfortable you are having things on your body, which is going to either put it in the bottom drawer directly, or if you're going to actually be testing it. Personally, I will use Sonor in some of my gigs coming up to test it out, but I'm going to use my jacket over my button-up shirt, as I usually do, and do it like that. And if ever I start getting tired of having it, I'll just go quickly to the bathroom, remove it, and I'll be good to go. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. Additionally, with carrying capacity, Sonor is pretty big. So it is something pretty big that's not going to fit in your pocket. So if you're at a gig and you don't have a carrying case, you're someone that just goes, packed with their shirt and their blazers and their jackets full of effects, you'll not be able to remove Sonor at the event because you will have nowhere to put it if you don't have a carrying case. So you will need a carrying case in order to have Sonor with you. And it is pretty big. So if you have a carrying case, this will take up quite a bit of space in your carrying case when you want to perform it. So you do have to keep everything in mind that I've just said in terms of carrying capacity. It does require a lot of thinking. So I hope that I've made the case as clear as I can for you to know whether this is for you or not. Second of all, in terms of examinability, it is fully examinable. There's nothing really to be examined. The only way that something is examined if it's someone is inappropriately touching you, and that should not happen at a gig. So technically, examinability, you are good to go. In terms of angles, the angles are 360 degrees. In terms of reset, the reset is going to take a second or two. You take out your phone as you're moving to another table, and you'll be able to perform it again. Okay. So the reset is really quick if you want to do different sounds. If you always want to do the same sound, there's a way to automate it so that the moment it finishes a performance, it's going to move into a next one when you need it to go without going in your pocket, which is nice. Okay. So that is to be kept in mind. In terms of a table, obviously you do not need a table in order to perform the effect whatsoever. And lastly, what I'm going to mention as well is the sound. Is the sound good? Does it do what it's supposed to do? Does it sound like it's coming from where it's supposed to come? And the answer is yes. The sound and everything does sound like it's supposed to be coming from where it's supposed to come. It's not going to sound like, oh, this thing is coming from his pocket, or this thing is coming from there, or he flicked the glass here, but actually it sounded like the glass is over there. No, none of that is true. It's going to actually sound where it's supposed to be sounding, which is very nice in that regard. Now let's talk about where do you perform. So where do you perform Sonor? And Sonor is something that can be performed anywhere. You can perform Sonor in your close-up gigs, walk around, stage, parlor, cabaret, social media, wherever you want. This can be performed as long as you have the correct clothing requirements to facilitate you having Sonor on you. Okay? That is the only thing. So as long as you can have it on you, you can perform it anywhere as long as it's not showing. Okay? Now that we've discussed all of this, let's get into the positives and negatives of Sonor. First, let's talk about the negatives. Well, what is one of the negatives? One of the negatives is that for some people, it is very hard to set it up. There's constantly people on the Facebook group asking for help because they don't understand how to set it up. It's not working. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. So if you're not someone that's tech savvy, it will require a lot more work than other things that do the same type of effect, which are more easier to set up. So you do have to keep that in mind. Second of all, it will require you to wear specific clothing. You know, if you're someone that wears tight shirts, you will never be able to perform this. If you're someone that doesn't wear a coat over their tight button-up shirt at their events, you will not be able to do this. If you're someone that hates baggy clothing, you will not be able to necessarily do this. There are circumventions to get it to work. And some people are going to fully disagree with me on this, but I do think that if you want this to be comfortable and to be something that you keep on you for your entire gig, you do have to make sure it is comfortable for you to have it on. And third of all, it does require you to carry this with you at all times, whether on your body or have a specific case to have it taken on and off of your body, as I said previously. So those are all negatives that you do have to keep in mind. In terms of positives, however, it works as it's supposed to do. It's very fun to perform. It's a unique effect. It's something that catches people off guard. It plays in with your imagination, so you can make this as interesting as you want with your presentation. The sound is honestly fantastic. It's very crisp and very well thought out. The setup is something that you can perform hands off. So you're never going to touch your phone. You're never going to be touching a remote. You're never going to be fiddling in your pockets, which is a great addition to have, even though you have to carry around Sonor with you on yourself at all times in order to do it. And third of all, the instructional video, the packaging and everything is great. So having said all of this, would I recommend Sonor? It's a bit hard because I do like it, but in my head I'm just thinking of, is the effect by João Miranda better for the $100 that it charges more? Personally, I feel it would be, but this is not a comparison video because I don't own the João Miranda effect. But there is quite a few things that draw me back from this and draw me from actually performing this. It is good, it is workable, it does what it's supposed to do, but because of the way that I perform, I usually don't take carrying cases around with me, and I usually perform in a very tight, close fit, buttoned up black shirt. It's not the most efficient for me to bring it to my gigs. So because of that, I'm a bit split. Would I recommend it? If after all my review, after you've watched all the reviews of everyone else online, which are fantastic reviews, I encourage you to watch them as well. If you still think this is for you, go ahead, buy it, you will not be disappointed. If not, I do think that there are other alternatives on the market that will be better suited for performing environments such as the ones that I go to and for clothing restrictions such as the one that I have. So because of that, I will slightly recommend it to you. So what do I give it on 10? I'm giving Sonor a 7 on 10. I think it's good. I think it does what it's supposed to do, but I still want to make sure that I can survive a gig or two with it on me for an hour to 2 hours, because that's usually how I perform. Will it be able to stay on me without hindering my other effects and the other moves and the other things that I'm doing? That remains to be tested. So maybe I'll do an update for you soon. But for now, that is my verdict on Sonor. I hope this has helped you somewhat in your decision. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below, and I'll catch you all in my next review. Have a great one, and bye-bye.